what I'm afraid of course, is that they're coming for us. They are. They're.
JD Vance, thank you. I know you've been up. You were on the floor at 4 a.m.
Shut up. They're coming for us. Apparently, they're going to get us. They're coming to take me away, I suppose. But they're coming for us. A dire warning. This isn't just for the Blaze. A dire warning for independent content creators on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Facebook. Oh dear, I am one of those people. Now, I don't have a podcast. I mean, my show's turned into a podcast, but for Sexy Liberal in the podcast, but I don't make one. Just saying. Let's see. And sorry about that. That was loud.
I want to start with something.
That's pretty loud. Hold on. By the way, that's Stu. I don't know why, but he's Stu. Nobody knows why Stu is Stu. Even Stu does not know who is Stu. So apparently, we've all got something to be afraid of. As a content creator, I am apparently doomed because freedom. Let's see. I'm curious. You're curious. This may be the last show ever. We'll find out. Possibly. How about some clickbait thumbnails on that CSL? That's what we'll do. Here we go.
That you need to know about. My job, I feel like, is somebody that is just telling you the mile markers as we go. We are hitting another mile marker here that you.
On what? Lack of sleep, sugar bloat. What mile marker are we talking? What highway are we careening down, Glenn? Because you look a little bagged out, man.
You really need to pay attention to.
All right.
Because it is all about information.
Sure. I guess speaking most of the time, well, not when you do it, but when most people are talking, they are part of what they're saying is information.
We have been witnessing a very disturbing trend in social media lately.
Oh, you mean like how ever since Elon Musk took over X, it's like a shit-posting Nazi site? I don't know. You know what? On second thought, you don't look happy about it, so probably that's not what's upsetting you.
The giants of Silicon Valley are attempting to control the narrative and dictate what information you have access to.
On their sites? The sites that most people are on for free, you mean? The free sites that they have, that they're really for social networking, that are not news aggregate sites, even if you use them for them, that they have the right to do that with because it's private property, you fucking commie?
By punishing people like me, or perhaps like you, for wrong think.
How do they know what you're thinking? Are you sure it's not wrong say?
Now, this is a blatant assault on your freedom of speech. And
How? They're not the government. Somebody has the right to kick you out of their house if you're swearing at their relatives or shitting on the Thanksgiving table, I would guess, right? So it's their place. You're in their place using it for free. So therefore, if you're no longer welcome, you can be asked to fuck right off.
My freedom of speech. And what do you know? They've decided to do this during an election year. I mean,
well, it doesn't matter when they do it. It's their space. I got news for you, fuckwad. You're rich. You're very, very fucking rich. You've got millions of dollars. Here's a good idea, fucker. How about this? How about build your own server farm, load your show on it, and let people watch it whenever they want on there. Don't use YouTube servers or Rumbles or Facebook or any of these other. Use your own fucking servers and draw an audience there. Don't use their shit because they're not trustworthy. Obviously, they're part of the problem, not part of the solution. Why would you want them to make money off your broadcast? And they're like, oh, you're making money off your broadcast because they give you that shit for free because you get to run your fucking show on the cheap because they provide you with basically a free cable station outlet. And you are looking that gift horse in the mouth and saying, fuck you.
What a coincidence. So I have 3 updates for you. And the first one is actually kind of a win.
Okay.
I shared last week when my team discovered that Apple had rated everything in my Apple podcast library as explicit content. That's over 2,000 episodes of my radio program, which I am.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they got a bunch of people warning there's an algorithm that does it? Also, how much you want to guess that it's not just explicit, that the word explicit is in there, but it's just like the Facebook warning, which is where there's a bunch of things like violence, controversial topics, misinformation, explicit content, blah, blah, blah. And so he pulls out the explicit part because it's the only one that doesn't apply to what he talks about.
FCC
Explicitly moronic, explicitly bullshit.
regulated, so I can't have anything explicit on. And also the Glenn Beck podcast. Now, the key here is, why did Apple change the rating from clean
Well, okay, he's probably going to tell us.
to explicit?
Anti-vax shit and calling for violence in the end of the world, like calls for violence, I would guess.
Well, my team uploads the episodes to the Apple Podcast platform, and they have.
Oh, really? Does it cost you anything to do that? How much does it cost you to upload your show to the Apple podcasting platform? What's the charge?
To rate it either clean or explicit. Vast majority of my episodes fall under the clean category, but our standards are a little higher than everyone else. Every so often, a guest on my podcast has used colorful language. They'll drop, the F-bomb occasionally. It's happened maybe twice. And my team, trying to make sure that we understand our audience, has flagged those episodes as explicit. That should.
Right, so the program overall has enough of that where they can, because it's live and they're not actually updating they're going to take your word for it because you've said it, and because you don't have a standard that edits it out, you don't cut out those words, right? That you're basically doing it as live, so that's why they put that on there. Okay.
Shouldn't affect every episode. It should affect that episode. So we reached out to Apple for comment, and Apple got back to us right away and claimed this was due to 4 episodes that we in the 2000 have labeled explicit. Now, Apple claimed that we didn't say they were explicit. I know we did. Apple wanted me to delete those episodes.
Oh, so 4 other episodes.
To get the label removed from all the rest of the 2000 episodes.
That's because the channel is just like an overarching thing. By the way, all my shit is explicit. Fuck you.
So, censorship? Well,
no, because you can still hear it. What's it going to stop? People under the age of 15, you creep?
I don't know. There's people that use content settings to avoid podcasts that are entirely based around explicit content like pornography. What Apple did.
How many pornographic podcasts are there, dum-dum?
Was group my show with those kinds of shows to hide all of my.
No, there aren't pornographic podcasts.
My shows from you.
Even the podcasts about pornography aren't pornographic.
We pushed back. Yesterday, we got a notification that Apple will remove the explicit label within a couple of business days. I mean, we got a lot going on here. So it was a big misunderstanding, as it always is. And time.
So it happened to other people, too, and they've been talking to a bunch of people, and it was just part of the switch in algorithm, and you took it personally, and it took you about 24 hours. Summer deals with this with her Facebook videos all the time. People get hit. It happens. Move on.
And time again, and I just love the fact that they will take a couple of days and correct this right away. Now, this is called soft censorship.
No, it isn't. It's not censorship at all. They owe you nothing. It's a free service. You get to post your shit for free.
And these attempts happen all the time. Let me give you another example.
That wasn't an example, but here, maybe this one will be.
Earlier this week, I got a notification that Facebook is making shadow banning company policy.
Oh, yeah? You got they said that? We're making shadow banning company policy?
Now, shadow banning, in case you don't know, is when a social media company allows you to post all the content that you want, but then it limits the reach that the content can hit. So,
right, it doesn't. You can't automatically muscle your way to the front of the line.
It's
people can still find it if they're looking for it, but they don't give you a leg up because while they're not limiting what you can say and what you can do, they're not going to help you.
Call it the digital ghetto.
Jesus Christ. Fuck you, dude. Tell that to people who had grandparents in Warsaw, and also say that to, I'm kidding, you don't know any black people.
They're just rounding everybody up that disagrees with the government, and they just put them in this little digital ghetto. There's a wall around it.
That's porous and not physically real, and you can see anything you want.
Well, they can speak all they want, but nobody's going to hear them, okay?
No, they're just not going to auto-boost you.
Unless you, too, go into the ghetto.
So you can go in. And then I guess you can leave if you're not.
Now, this time, at least Facebook was kind enough to tell us about it. They posted an article last week called Our Approach to Political Content.
So I thought it was just you. Our approach, let's see. That would be from their, quote, Transparency Center. That would be this one. We want you to have a valuable experience when you use Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, which is why we use AI systems to personalize the content you see based on the choice you make. People have told us they want to see less political content, so we've spent the last few years refining our approach on Facebook to reduce the amount of political content, including from politicians' accounts you see in feed, reels, watch groups you should join, pages you may like. You've recently extended this approach to Reels, Explore, and in-feed recommendations on Instagram and Threads too. Part of this, we aim to avoid making recommendations that would be about politics or political issues, in line with our approach of not recommending certain types of content to those who don't want to see it. Okay, so apparently there's a bunch of assholes who use Facebook and all these other sites that want them to be like Facebook and all these other sites and not another knockoff shitpost site. Yeah, okay.
Now, Facebook admitted now that they are going to shadow ban all political content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in fairness.
But that's for you. That has nothing to do with, like, the WEF saying, we've got to silence people. We've got to make sure that people aren't misinformed with things that disagree with our policy and our direction.
Well, in theory, the WEF would be one of those organizations since it is a political gathering.
Now, Facebook argued that, quote, the people have told us they just want to see less political content.
Uh-huh. And it's a private company.
So we've spent the last few years refining our approach on Facebook to reduce the amount of political content, including from politician accounts. You see in feeds, reels, watch groups you should join, and pages you may like. Okay, that's interesting. Because my team started noticing, a 95% drop in our penetration on Facebook.
Ew.
About a year ago.
Right, because you're 100% political, and that's not what Facebook's for. But you can still use it for free. So people, your penetration, you're having penetration problems, are you? What's your watch hours and your viewership like? Same fucking people?
Which is weird.
Why?
Which is weird.
What do you mean? Because you're buying ads and trying to push through, and they're just going, nah.
But it'll
What's weird about it? I need something more than just weird.
Be better for our sanity, I guess. I remember a time when Facebook begged me to join their platform.
Really? Do you?
So what changed?
You?
Well, an election year where they're scared out of their mind and they have to silence anyone that is telling you a different opinion than.
Well, apparently they're silencing everyone who's telling you any kind of political opinion.
And the overlords.
Boo, fuckity who.
I'd like to know what Facebook considers to be political content. Is advertising LGBTQ issues to kids considered political? I bet not.
No.
How about content on the benefits of abortion?
Probably.
Is that political?
Probably.
Does Joe Biden...
Yeah, I again, the idea... What the fuck... content about the benefits of abortion, the benefits of it. Can you give me an example? Because that's fucking weird.
Biden get a pass since he's the president, despite the fact that he's running for re-election? Or is it just the right-wing candidates and issues that are from the right wing that are considered political?
Well, again, probably everybody.
Don't worry, Facebook isn't banning all political content. Instead, it's just hiding it by default. If you want
If you want it, you can bring it back.
Want to see the political content, then you can customize your feed preference and turn it back on. You can also add people like me to your favorites list so you can still see my content in your feed. Sounds great.
Okay, this is an ad. That's what this is about. This has been a standard that they've worked on for a while, and I'll show you. Here's the whole letter. They sent this to our approach to political content overall. In addition, you can personalize what you see on Facebook through customization tools we offer in your feed preferences and directly in places like your feed. You can provide direct feedback on a post by selecting show more or show less. Use reduce. This is the same shit that's on X as well. Show me less of this content. Show me more of this. It's bullshit. Okay, let me tell you what this is ultimately about. This is an ad for his Facebook page. He's trying to put this on top of it, and this is one of those things. Like, I have a lot of people who watch the show that aren't subscribed. Everybody does. Somewhere in the order of somewhere between 80 and 80% of the people who watch a show in general aren't subscribed. So there's this constant thing that they tell you about in YouTube Academy to make sure that you mention to the people who are watching to subscribe, and they use that statistic. How many people in the chat room, by the way, have been, when they've been watching somebody that they watch regularly who does post videos, not live stuff necessarily. I don't know what the other live people do, but when you watch a posted video and they're like, the algorithm tells me, my insights on Facebook or my insights on YouTube tell me that 70% of the people who watch this aren't subscribed. So subscribe and help us, blah, blah, blah. You've heard that, right? You've heard that phrase? Okay. That's what they literally, in the YouTube Academy thing that you go through, and I watched all that shit because I had to, in the middle of COVID, create a show that worked and that was functional, right? Yeah, you see it all the time. There you go. That's what he's doing. This is his version of that trick. Please subscribe, by the way, and share the show. All that stuff. That stuff that I try to remember to tell you guys, right? They tell you in all these things, like how to make it on any of these sites, how to order. They always tell you, remind your viewers to do this. And remember that a big enough, substantial portion of the people who watch aren't subscribed yet. That's always true. Everybody who discovers your video who isn't subscribed, that group is always statistically a larger group compared to the regular watchers or some shit like that. So you can always make that, even if almost everybody who subscribes watches almost every time. It's just bullshit. But it's a good business model and a good reminder, and it's a good way to constantly remind people to do this, okay? Thank you for watching and liking, by the way. I appreciate it. But that's what he's doing. This is a sales pitch. That's what this is. They looked at their, quote, penetration numbers. Has fuck all to do with Facebook or YouTube or any of this stuff. He's just fucking boring. And the people who are watching Glenn Beck are the same people who watch Glenn Beck all the time. That's it.
Great and easy, doesn't it? Okay, so
then they cut. Because this is really
in the episode I did a couple of weeks ago, I introduced you to a group that's called the Center for Countering Digital Hate.
The Center for Countering Digital Hate. Yes.
When I say they are the ones behind the infamous
Jews, it's Jews, isn't it? Probably Jews. Probably a bunch of Jews.
Disinformation Dozen report that the White House peddled back in 2021. That report targeted so-called COVID disinformation.
Right.
All the things that we now know are true.
No.
Well, they now have a new report out.
Like what? Vaccines don't work. Masks don't work. What are you talking about? All the things. Lockdowns don't work. Whatever you're making up. I mean, obviously it worked for all the people who survived it.
About climate disinformation. Mm-hmm. But not the kind you might.
Also, by the way, you'll notice this leap from him being shadow banned about whatever the fuck and this organization. Now, the question is this organization going to show up all the time? I guarantee somebody on his team or at the Blaze liked or links to or constantly watches stuff from this organization, and that's why it keeps showing up in their feed, and he's like, we're losing content with our viewers, but these people keep showing up in our feeds. Like, motherfucker, the same reason you keep showing up in mine. I don't watch his shit organically. I watch it for this show, usually only on this show, but I sure as shit get a bunch of Glenn Beck's recommendations because the fucking algorithm isn't a person, it's a machine, and it thinks I like this shit. That's why I watch it, which I do, but mostly for the lulz.
I'd be thinking of. Now, when I say they, I really mean him, because there is only one employee at this nonprofit.
Okay.
Earlier this year, a British outlet called The Independent highlighted this new report. Apparently,
oh, yeah, The Independent, I've heard of them. They're mainstream media. It's nice that you're citing them, though. That's good. You know, it shows growth.
It's the Center for Countering Digital Hate, and they are furious that social media companies are allowing a new form of climate change denial to spread to their platforms. It's no longer good enough for companies like YouTube to censor people who believe in climate change. Or believe that it is fake. They've been doing that, but that's not enough. That's the old kind of denial. The Center for Digital Hate defined the new denial as anything that claims global heating is beneficial or harmless, that global elites' climate solutions may not work, or that so-called climate science or the climate movement can't be trusted.
Okay. Anecdotal shit about a single dude operating this thing where he's trying to fight for climate change, and he's attacking not just the concept, but genuinely talking about the content of their argument. What's your fucking point?
Now, I'm not sure how questioning the global elites is a form of digital hate, but apparently now it is, because that guy at the CCDH has spoken, and the White House will partner with him. So now people like me who have never denied that the climate is changing, in fact, I say the climate has always been changing, we're considered spreaders of hateful disinformation because we...
Well, that's because there's a difference between... it's kind of like the Black Lives Matter conversation. Black Lives Matter literally comes from Black Lives Matter 2. The idea being that other lives seem to matter, but Black lives don't seem to. Therefore, it is important to say and recognize that Black Lives Matter because the evidence seemed to be pointing in the other direction, and that's why the phrase needed to be said. That's why you needed to say all lives matter, except in its inclusion to try and make the point that Black Lives Matter, and not that like a way to shrug it off. Is the similar kind of situation. And in this one, when he's saying climate change, what we're talking about is anthropogenic climate change, the human effect on the climate. All climate changes all the time, but the percentage of impact that we are having matters, and it matters increasingly. And so that's the point. Yes, Black Lives Matter too, as in also, and climate change that we're referring to is the result of anthropogenic climate change, with the impact that human life and human industry is having on it as well. Not just that the climate is changing. This is lying through omission.
Things like reimagining farming might kill millions of people. You know, like it has every time it has ever been attempted in the past.
Okay, first of all, Snotty, reimagining farming the way Mao did from an ignorant point of view, or let's say even around the Dust Bowl, which was not about farming at all, but it was about giving land to people who didn't know how to fucking farm, is one thing. But the idea that are you suggesting, and I'm guessing by the look at you, that you don't eat anything that is raised its whole life and stays in a barn, that stays in a industrial egg facility, for example, or an industrial chicken facility, or industrial meat processing plant, or that kind of stuff. So you only eat stuff that is raised by Amish farmers and personally slaughtered by you. That looking into how to affect the impact and of the off run from cow dung and pig dung and all that kind of stuff, all that is a wasted effort. Trying to actually handle that because of the volume of humans on the planet and what we eat and the variety of things that are out there, and how some crops leach the topsoil faster than others, and so you got to be aware of that, or rotating crops around, and all that kind of stuff should actually fucking matter. I'm kidding. Keep eating garbage, you snotty little boy.
Now, the CCDH made sure to specifically call me and Blaze TV out as spreaders of this new denial. Now, this isn't just pointing the finger. This was a threat.
Boo-hoo.
Because the CCDH then demanded that you...
Mao Zedong, yes, Arizona. Mao Zedong, first of all, he wanted to kill all the birds because the idea that the birds were lowering the crops yield on wheat and rice, and by killing all the birds, he destroyed a lot of the ecosystem and caused one of the biggest famines. That is, I mean, there are a myriad of reasons, but ultimately starved 30, 40 million people to death.
YouTube demonetize any content that spreads new denial. But remember, this is one.
What do you need to make money off of it? Don't you make money off of the station? Don't you have advertisers and all that kind of stuff? Who cares if they demonetize your shit? My stuff gets demonetized all the time because I say fuck. How's that fair? I click the little box that says my show's not for kids, right? But because I swear I'm demonetized, or my monetization is lowered a step all the time because I'm technically explicit. You know what my response to that is when that happens on Facebook or YouTube, which is all the time? You know what it is? Fine. It's their platform. If I want to stay within the confines that will heighten my monetization and change what my show is about, then I can. I choose not to, so it's on me. Right? That's my responsibility. I don't blame YouTube for not attaching every advertiser that comes to them with my shit. They can single me out for people that have checked the box that says we're fine if he cusses. I mean, stop bitching. Oh, thank you, JD Christie, for the super chat, the profanity bonus. Yes, if you like the fact that I swear on the regular and you don't mind that, super chats are a great way to make up for it. So is Venmo and Patreon, because honest to God, I never get above a yellow $ on the monetization thing, which just means there's like 2 advertisers like that will put stuff on my channel at all. So I'm usually not demonetized. Or I'm usually demonetized. I usually am not monetized specifically for that.
White House's go-to expert.
And again, like, that's on me. I take that responsibility. I'm not bitching at them. That's their standard, and I use all these sites for free. So why the fuck would I, if they set a standard where you can't swear on one of these stations, I would just not be on there. Out of respect for them. I wouldn't just go on there. I'm going to fucking go on there and fuck you, fuck, because it's their space. Have a little fucking respect.
Experts on disinformation. It's a good thing the White House doesn't have a track record of telling social media companies who to censor, right?
All right. Sarcasm is what idiots have instead of a sense of humor. Fuck off. They don't tell them who to censor. And by the way, most of the censorship you're bitching about happened when Trump was in office.
Oh, wait, we just learned in the Twitter files.
Jessica says, Hal, have you considered funding from Russia or China money? No, they apparently, I can't even be on their social media sites. I used to be on WeChat. Like I had an account on there that I was going to stream to. Can't do that. And obviously, and I used to have a VK account, which is the Russian version of Facebook or Meta. And weirdly, right after the war started, my channel went away. Isn't that weird? It just evaporated. The login was gone. I don't know what happened. Now, obviously, I used a separate email and a separate password that I don't use anywhere else for that because I don't trust these fuckers either. But it just went away. It's odd. Isn't that funny? Now, people, by the way, people still watch me in China and Russia. And hi. Shh. Turn down the volume or wear headphones. I know you're on the subway right now, or, but I'm just saying, be careful.
That's exactly what they've been doing for years. So let's take a step back here, because it's more important for you to understand.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. She says they don't understand personal responsibility. No, they don't at all. Thanks, Foot Munch. You sickie, you. Foot munch sounds explicit.
And what the CCDH's demand actually means.
Dun, dun, dun.
Stu, do I still have your attention? Because this is...
No, Stu is bored. Stu fell asleep, and you're asking... You don't even know what you're fucking talking about, so you're dragging him into it.
Really complex, but I just want to make sure people really understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you...
And by people, I mean you, Stu. Pay attention. You're on your phone the whole fucking time.
I don't know, do something that would bring in, the people that don't have a real big attention span.
Taylor Swift, she's in the luxury box watching the radio show today. Look at her.
Okay, good. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. They worked on that early. That was a gag. They talked about that earlier. That had, you could see that had the bones of a Greg Gutfeld joke. Ugh. The rubbery, weak, splintery bones of a Greg Gutfeld bit.
So here it is. They want YouTube to limit the monetization of any content that goes against the global elite's narrative.
Is that how they put it? They just said anybody who goes against the global elite's narrative. Do they define who the elites are? Do they mention, is there a list of elites? Because I should be on it. I'm just saying.
And if I, in general, are against the global elite's narrative...
Who would that be?
Then you wouldn't want any of my content monetized.
Right, but you don't need their filthy fucking commie money. Right? You don't. Why do you need their money? Why do you need YouTube's fucking money? Why do you have to have it monetized? Why don't you have your membership thing and your own ads? Don't you do live reads and shit like that? Honest to God, is his shit like, I mean, they must be pulling tens of thousands of dollars off this site. He probably makes $100K a month off of YouTube. So let me get this right, because there's 24,000 views on this video. It was put up 5 hours ago. Now it's probably going to get a lot more hits because it says a dire warning for independent content creators on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Facebook. So there's a lot of the people who do that kind of shit, and it'll show up in their feed because of the title and the hashtags and the labels that are associated with it. But let's just say for a second that this is generally close to what he gets and what he operates on. He gets 30,000 views on all these fucking videos. He's going to be, and they put out as many as they do because they do multiple shows a day. They put up multiple clips a day. So he's making tens of thousands of dollars. Is it okay if I were to infer that when he's talking about, quote, big tech and the awfulness that big tech is and the horror of big tech and what big tech is doing to our children and our families and the American way of life and all that kind of stuff, while he is making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month? Yeah? Hundreds of thousands of dollars a month from these companies, Facebook included. Am I supposed to am I supposed to actually believe that he doesn't want these companies to exist, or he wants to limit their reach or power other than how he can monetize them?
The truth is, it's not really cheap or easy to produce content and maintain a team to keep all...
Boo fuckity who. No kidding. But you've got a giant subscription model and a huge TV set. It's very expensive having 65 television sets all put together so you could put your fucking name on the wall. I can tell that everybody at the fucking Blaze scrimps and saves just to get the show on the fucking air. The fuck out of here, man. Why do you even need a fucking team? What the fuck do you talk about ever that requires any extra thought?
All of the trains running on time.
Jesus Christ, you couldn't do it. You couldn't say that sentence without a fucking Nazi reference. That literally was a reference. That was the thing. Hitler made the trains run on time. That's a reference to that. Get the fuck out of here.
A subscription model is the best way for us to function. And
aha. And that's where we're getting to. This is a fucking ad. It's another fucking ad. These are all backdoor ads. This motherfucker's been selling us prepper food this whole time.
That's something that we pioneered here at the...
Fuck you, you did not. Jesus Christ, man. You think the only people that had a subscription service at the beginning of this? Pioneered.
Blaze, I knew working at CNN and then at Fox, we could not rely on other companies. We couldn't rely on advertisers.
But you did. You did. Apparently, it turned out you could. And you sold subscriptions and then stacked the money you made from all these private companies on top of it. And the minute they're like, hang on a second, you are limiting our money from other sources because you're fucking up the place. So we don't need you. We've got our own thing going on, and you've got your fucking subscription service. So piss off.
We had to rely on you.
Which is a lie. Because he's got ads all over the place. They do live reads like radio. He's on radio stations everywhere. There's nothing super expensive about the Blaze. Don't give me this shit about we've had to rely on you. In yesterday's video, this motherfucker was talking about he had to buy a black suit last minute at this fancy pants place near Yale in New Haven, Connecticut. And yeah, tell me all about how your fucking shoestring budget, motherfucker, while I'm using a hot dog or a hamburger phone as a prop. Jesus.
Now, we take advertisers because it's wildly expensive to do what we do.
Why? Why is it wildly expensive? Don't get me wrong. Making a show and keeping it on the air and making sure, like, having an internet connection that's reliable. God knows I go through that shit wherever I'm going. Traveling around trying to do this. I did my radio show for fucking 15 years on the road when I was doing stand-up and stuff, and finding a place where I could actually hook up to the station and actually have some audio or whatever was a fucking bitch. But now, fuck you. Hold on one second. Let me show you guys something real quick, because this is aggravating me. This is my bread and butter right now. What I do is expensive in terms of the show because I'm building this fucking race car as I drive down the road. This motherfucker, like, what in this room that he bought at a fucking thrift store or online or fucking from Alibaba or whatever? Yeah, CSL knows. Jesus Christ, we're fucking hamstringing this goddamn thing all the time. And I gotta wait for fucking YouTube to go, we pay you around the middle of the month sometimes. We might be late, whatever, which is super fucking weird. Like, you're a computer company. You should be on the fucking nose, right? Or Patreon, which pays the first day of the month. So if I have bills the first day of the month, like everybody else, I got to either wait till late in the day or the next day to be able to pay them, which I do. And this motherfucker don't fucking, oof. And I'm not even near the fucking money these dickheads are pulling in. Shut the fuck up. All right, let me show you something, though. Let's go. Elgato. I'm going to go to the Elgato site, and I'm going to show you something else. And this is because we love Boston Brian. I'm going to share this with Boston Brian and the like real quick, because this is the current state of shit as we go. Oh, quit it, you crazy. Get back out here. Why does everything hide when that happens? I don't want that. All right, go back to here. And then go back to here. See, it makes the page go away. And I don't know why. It's so very odd. I'm going to be aggravated. All right, let's go back to here. Set up this and there, there. Get back up in here. We go to here. Okay, excellent. Now, let me show you something, Glenn, you fucking putz. Now, we've all seen his studio, okay? We've all seen his shit with the fucking walls of video screens, and I lust after it every time. It's disgusting, but it's how I live. I would love to have a big setup like that that's all cool looking and all that stuff. But you don't need it to actually make the show happen. All right. Let me show you something real quick. Let me open up. First of all, this is, open this page up and pop it out of the way. But here. This is, most of the gear that I use is Elgato stuff. So, and this is, as stuff has come out, I tried different shit all along. And I was like, you know who's got their shit together? Gamers. Gamers managed to do high-level video and high-speed, like 60 frames a second and all this kind of shit. So I was chasing up. I originally had like a regular, just a regular single-shot camera that I was feeding through. And now I actually have one of their Elgato cameras that I use, which is very nice. And It can even show the bump on my nose that I got from wearing my glasses earlier, which is still not gone away. I'm not quite sure. I think I was electrocuted by my Meta glasses, but we'll talk about that later. So this is the 4KX. I don't use this. But let's go to the other shit there. That's the 4K Pro. I have one of these cards in my computer to try and get it so that I can play these things. So I can play audio.
I'm your hug bearer.
Into the computer. It's being a little weird, but now it works. I got that so I could specifically run my other computer in there. Okay. These are the lights I use, basically. I have two of them right here. I have them, I timed them and made them shut off and added a sound effect of the thunderclap audio that I found online, and I added it to a single button so that I can, in case the kidney comes up, turns off two of the lights, plays the thunder music in the rain, waits on a delay, and then when the sound is over, I timed it to turn the lights back on. Okay? I did that. I sat down and fucking arranged that shit so that we could have that. Just because it's funny to me. Now, these are... I use these. I used their mic for a while, as many of you will recall, but it gave me that crackle problem. Remember that shit? Where my mic was getting crackly at a certain point? So I had tricked out my shit to use their microphone, and it just fell. I don't know what the fuck. Every time we get to some point, it gets crackly and awful, so I switched to this mic, which is a different one. This is the Beacon mic, and I need... The reason I have to have this is because I have to do what's called a submix, so that I can send my voice and my sound effects and any clip sounds that I go to my guests so they can hear what I'm showing. And it could go there if I'm on Steph's show or if I have, the guests that are on the show. So if I play a clip for them, they know what's going on. And then I can hear them as well, and never the twain shall meet. So their voice doesn't go back to them and cause a loop, which is always a pain in the ass. And I do this all by myself. So give me a fucking second. Then I bought one of these guys, thanks to our lovely Patreon people. I added this to my kind of wish list and pre-ordered this, and it finally came in. I use it right now, but it's why I can look at the chat room in the camera instead of having to look up like this. That's all. The only reason I got it. I don't use it as a teleprompter because I don't need one. But there's Night Beck. Good night, Beck. Good night, Becky. See, I can see that going. I'll be your Daisy. There you go, all by myself. Somebody singing. You've always presented as an AV club master shithouse. I try. That's right. I was that nerd in school. So, that's their prompter that they make. It's literally just called prompter. But I use that because you can use it you can put a monitor in it as well. So I use it as a mini monitor so I can look right at it. Or now if I have guests, I can do a projector. I'll show you this. So it'll create a bit of a loop. But if I create a projector from this, output projector, there you go. See that right there? That's this guy right here. So I can create an output projector of what I'm seeing, and then I can put it up into the teleprompter, and now I'm looking at myself in that image. I can see it straight ahead. If I ever need to do that and that's what you do when you're a guest on a network news show, which I'm planning on doing at some point once we grow this thing to 100, 150K, right? There you go. All right, now, this is the microphone that shit the bed. Look, they even make a Glenn Beck model. So wait, okay. And then this is basically the shit that they have. And then, so it's like, it's all computer stuff and for making video and whatever. And on top of that, they have, let's see if we find this in here. Products, go back to the products of the thing, is this guy, which is the main reason why I got all this shit, this Stream Decks. So I have 3 of these that I use for sound effects and to trigger things and all that kind of stuff. And they're all right here. Okay. And I use these to run the show. And I have to program every single one of these buttons by myself. Okay? Yeah, till the wheels fall off. You're goddamn right. So, and this little one with 8 buttons on it and the 4 dials is $179. I have 2 of those, and I have, look, you can replace the buttons now. Ooh, I don't need them. Anyways, it's like $179 for those things. And then let's see if I can show you the other big one. Hello, if you know what I'm saying, is the Stream Deck XL. I have one of these, and these are $249. And I have one of these right here, and that's the thing that I run the kidney off of, and the thing that I run, like, I have in this, I have folders and folders of my sound effects so that I can.
They said, "Oh,
right.
Michigan gave us most."
They're all programmed. All those buttons are programmed on that thing because I don't have one of those big machines that Stephanie Miller has. So I made one out of this thing. Okay, it's $250. From my perspective, doing this show, is it expensive? Yes, it's a lot. That's expensive. Also, I'm using. I got 2 monitors that I purchased because we were growing this thing out, and then I had other people like, I have an old monitor. You want it? And I said yes, and he sent it to me, and now I got 2 of them, and I put one up here where I could put all the like the meters for audio and shit like that, so that if anything's like everybody's complaining, I can go, oh, that's off. I can see it up there, but it isn't in the way all the time while I'm trying to actually do the fucking show. So I do this all by myself every day, twice a fucking day, most of the week. And each piece of gear in here, I mean, I'm probably, if I don't include the computer, $10K all in on the gear that I've had to buy for this show all by itself, just like piece by piece. And this is the stuff that's actually working. About 10 grand worth of stuff that I've just accumulated over time. That stuff took a shit, and then I had to replace it, and then I'm using like old stuff that I had before, or and then again, fuck. The thing is, this is why I look at the shit that that he has in his studio, and I'm like, none of that's useful. None of that. There's nothing. It's just your fucking name on 9 screens, you asshole. Don't talk to me about how expensive shit is, because if I had that set up, you guys know that for one fucking shot at the beginning of the show, I'd have all those screens say Hal fucking Sparks on it or whatever. And then after that, I would have the screens open that I need to do the goddamn show. Yes. Oh, I forgot. You're right, CSL. Thank you. And the monthly costs of doing stuff. So I pay for Restream. I pay for Clean Feed, which is ironically named considering. And then all the news sites that I subscribe to on my own, monthly, and the internet that I need to do the fucking show. We're talking somewhere between maybe $300-500 a month minimum for all the monthly services that I use, and not including Canva and stuff for doing other shit. On top of that, just to get the show broadcast, just to get it out there, okay? Minimum. Yes, they're tax write-offs, but then you have to, yeah. So about that, Water Goddess, about that, yes. And on the constant, so when this motherfucker, who has the same 3 assholes on his show all the time, has no fucking team, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and 2 techs in a fucking room who never do shit except switch picture, which he could do him fucking self. He could do that in that room. They could have one of these fucking Stream Deck things, like the little one right here. Glenn could switch to what he wants on screen. It's his fucking show. Pat Gray, I think, is the 3rd asshole. That's how he likes to be referred to. So, you can see why I get aggravated when this asshole is talking about how expensive this shit is and how hard it is for him to put it together. And he's got this fucking, they've made a set of his like childhood bedroom with this fucking Fisher Price action figure shit in the background. This old fucking, none of it's real. All of it's fucking poser bullshit. Those skis were never fucking used. What the hell are you talking about? All of his mics have the fucking logo on it. And you're going to bitch because YouTube, who lets you use their site for free, wants to set the standard for what that means? Fuck you. Oh, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. And by the way, I hesitate ever talking about this because I don't want to sound like he's doing right now. That's what this is. That's what the fuck he's doing. That's what he's doing. This is a bait and switch. This is him This is him turning they're trying to shadow ban me bullshit story into a way to fucking wrangle subscribers like an asshole. This is why I have such a hard time talking about Patreon and all that kind of stuff. Even talking about it makes me feel all queasy about this, god damn it. But that's why I don't like talking about it, because when these assholes do this kind of shit, I'm grossed out. I'm annoyed. Do your fucking show, dummy. Let Stu do that shit. The fuck's he doing sitting over there on his phone all the time?
But in the end, we'll continue to do it as long as you are a subscriber.
See? Motherfucker. That's why. It's rough. It's difficult. You imagine what I went through with fucking when the software I use to bring Ficus to you was discontinued. Oh man, he was mad. You don't even fucking know, buddy. You don't even fucking know what he went through to get me back from fucking limbo. You don't even fucking know. Like downloading on sketchy websites and trying to reload old software without updates on it, keeping it firewalled from these people looking to shut it the fuck down just so I can be with you. And this motherfucker, this asshole who's got a team. Oh, he's got a team, does he? Does he have a team? You know, Hal's got a team too. He's got team fingers, motherfucker. When something goes wrong under the desk, he's got team crawl around under there and go, chip, chip, chip. I've heard him fucking do it. Team this, motherfucker. Except Can't Stop Lying. He'll pick the clips and post stuff on it. Give it up for him, man. That's fucking work. That's some great shit. He's a good man and stuff. And Andrea helps get the guests on there. But technologically, illogically, Hal's got team fucking fingers, man. Team fucking knees. Team fucking plumber crack. You don't believe me? Ask Summer. Hey, leave. Just because I'm under the desk, fucking trying to figure out what's plugged into what and rewiring shit like that. You don't have to bring up the fact that sometimes my pants. Hey man, I seen it. And I'm a better man for it. Okay, get in there. All right, let's finish this shit up because I'm just gonna get riled up.
That's why I ask you all the time, please subscribe to The Blaze, because I know.
No, I'm not gonna do it. There's no reason.
What is coming?
Do you? You know what's coming? The dismal, boring end of The Blaze.
In fact, it's already here. We only answer to you. So I'm going to show you some
bullshit. Hey, fuckwad, you answer to Facebook and YouTube and every service you use because you use their service for free.
Of this, so you understand what it is. But anyone who is relying on making their money from social media is going to be over soon.
No, they aren't. If it lowers my outreach because they're doing this, that's on Facebook, and I'll find either another outlet or people will find me on YouTube, or ultimately you'll find me on fucking BitChute right next to the Nazis. I don't give a fuck. If I'm getting my message out there and that's the only way to do it, I'll do it. And if I can make money off of it, I will. And if I can't, I will supplement this show by touring, which is exactly what I do.
So they want YouTube to limit the monetization of anybody that is going against the global elite's narrative.
Who gives a fuck? Oh, OnlyFans. Yeah, I'll open an OnlyFans. Just me and a roller getting cat hair off me, ladies.
It is important for people to be able to reach new viewers through platforms like YouTube and Facebook. Otherwise, we're only speaking to the choir.
What if they didn't exist? They didn't used to exist. What'd you do then? What was it? If you can't, if your business model is just clickbait and outrage porn, then you're going to be in deep shit. But if you're a reliable source, which I feel like I am, I'm not worried about that at all.
How do you offset the cost for content when you're putting it out for free?
Well, they put it on for free, and you get advertisers, but it doesn't cost you anything to put it on their fucking site.
Well, YouTube shares the revenue that they take to run ads in our content.
Uh-huh. Do they now? How much? Hey, Glenn, some YouTubers will talk about how much money they make. Let us know.
The better the video does, the more ads are sold, the more money both YouTube and, let's say, somebody like me makes.
Yeah. Why would you take money from the filthy, filthy, dirty, dirty people at YouTube?
That's how it works.
Right. Do you have any say in what ads run on your site? Oh, you don't. Well, I mean, a man of your principled beliefs wouldn't allow for that, clearly.
But late last week, one of my producers was looking through the YouTube analytics on a podcast with the rancher Shad Sullivan.
Okay. Your podcast with the rancher Shad Sullivan?
The episode is called Millions Will Starve.
Okay. Didn't do well?
Rancher sounds the alarm on the global food agenda.
The global food agenda. So the idea being, I guess, that your goal is that they have a goal to starve people on purpose. Not that they're a bunch of fuck-ups making a mistake, but they're entirely about killing people. Gotcha, okay.
It was performing extraordinarily well.
Uh-huh.
In just, I think, a day, it had 320,000 views. It had amassed...
Really? People view a podcast?
A watch time of over 88,000 hours. Okay? That, if we cared about the money, should have made tons of money.
What would define tons?
For The Blaze or
whoever.
Or for the Glenn Beck program.
Uh-huh. But it didn't.
The podcast.
Really? Because some of my videos have the same watch time as yours, and they don't make tons of money for me. Just saying. I would argue, all British super chats aside, that I could barely rank it in the pounds in that regard, but
had 14 YouTube ad breaks. So
good Lord.
They were selling advertisers, but we weren't making any money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, welcome to the world of Spotify artists.
So we don't know what happened to the money there. We were searching for a potential problem. We found a few things. First of all, YouTube had limited ads on this video.
Right. So the only people putting ads on your video were people who are willing to scrape the bottom of the barrel, and those people don't pay a lot for the top-notch spots. When you get the lower, that's the thing about me swearing, is that my ads are always, they're not going to be the progressive ads or the big pharmaceutical companies, whoever's paying for Coca-Cola, whoever's paying to get their ads in the, considering the watch time that I have, I've got 10 million hours. I have over that. I have over 10 million hours in the last 2 years. Because I'm good. Thank you. But the ads that I get are all going to be like the equivalent of penny stocks.
Which can take it to, every 1,000 people, or I don't even know the numbers. But you get a certain amount for everybody who's watching.
No, you don't. You get a certain amount for everybody who's watching that the advertiser pays to get on a program talking about those kind of things, or that they don't give a fuck and they pay a lower cost, clicks per minute or cost per minute than bigger advertisers do.
All of this, and then you split it.
Yeah, so it's all Temu ads. I get it. Your whole show is run on Temu ads, right?
But if you are banned in any way, then that number goes down.
Yeah, welcome to my world. Fuck off.
Well, YouTube had limited ads on this video.
Right, boo fuckity who.
They claimed that it had firearms-related content that wasn't friendly to some advertisers. We double-checked. We didn't talk at all about firearms. Nothing would have triggered this restriction.
Boo fuckity who? Would you get a troll hit? Welcome to my world.
Ah, but there is a catch to this, and it will show you next exactly what's coming to everyone. If you don't know the mile marker, you're not going to know where you are.
What if I have a GPS when I don't actually? All right, sorry. Analogy: dark and lonely road.
And where you are is heading deeper and deeper into a place where your navigation system is being fiddled with.
Ooh, well, that sounds fun. I didn't realize that. Really? Is this going to cost me extra? My navigation system is getting fiddled with. You know, are they wiggling the cord because the connection's bad? I need a whip crack sound effect. Clearly, like a whoosh.
I urge you, if you are not a member of the Blaze, please support us. Join.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Fuck you.
Us at blazetv.com/Glenn. Use the promo code free speech.
That's ironic. Also, can I use the promo code /Glenn? Is that too rude?
And you can
explain your. Don't stop selling. Shut the fuck up.
Opinion content. But also, there are two big stories that I want to get to.
Get to them then. This has all been a sales pitch, you dumb fuck.
The Blaze has just investigated how many people actually died of COVID-19 in the Michigan long-term care facilities. That's a breaking story. Also,
it's a breaking story. Now I'm getting aggravated. Now, clearly. Okay.
So, Capitol Police, we've just found, and we are showing you now footage that has never been seen before.
Oh, I already looked at that, motherfucker. Finish the thought.
Capitol Police diverted, except one, and we will show you that video that has been like pulled.
It's going to fucking break.
Everything
asshole.
Blaze media is doing now, not only in video content and opinion content, but also there are two big stories that I want to get to.
Fuck this. Jesus Christ. This is another rope. God damn it. Why? Hold on one second. Why do I always find myself watching this absolute bullshit? Good fucking God. It's just ridiculous. I must be insane. All right. That's the end. Okay, let's finish on. And hi, chat room. Love you guys. Thank you so much thanks for listening to my rant about this shit. I apologize if I got too far into the technical. At least I stopped myself before I went to black magic, and not the actual dark arts, but the black magic gear that I've gone through in doing the show as well. In my complaints about this asshole bitching about how hard it is to get the Blaze on the air. It isn't. Motherfucker, you used to have to work for ABC, CBS, or NBC, and then maybe Fox. Then cable came along, and you could buy your way onto a station or buy your way onto a channel late at night. Don't believe me? Ask Tony Robbins. And then afterwards, like, when the internet came out, early on, okay, you guys know I worked for Marianne Williamson back in the day, and I'm the one who talked her into getting Marianne.com. That's why she has Marianne.com, is because I talked her into it. She thought it was silly. I was the one going around, you need to buy your own URL with your name, because I was like, one day, as an actor, I'll be able to put my demo reel on the World Wide Web, and I won't have to make video cassettes and send them out anymore, right? And I was right, and a long time ago. And I still own houseparks.com, and I've had it since 1993. That said, when Ustream first came out, many of you will remember, I started streaming on the regular. Then I was on this other service, Livestream. They coaxed me over there. Their gear was very funky, but you could travel with it. And I was like, oh my God, there's this rig. I can take it with me. And then I went back to Ustream, and then YouTube came out, and then they didn't have live streaming, but I was able to post the stuff that I'd done on there. And I did my radio show via Ustream. You know, effectively, my radio show on WCPT started out as a live stream on Ustream back in the day. And then I was like, I'm already streaming on Saturdays. I'll just put it on the radio too. And I've been doing it that way ever since. Never along the way did I get a boost from being on CNN or any of that other stuff. Now, obviously, acting helped a lot, and it raised my profile, and that's been a bonus. But unrelated to this, it's like stand-up. Even when I go and do stand-up, nothing about maybe the fact that I was funny on Lab Rats, you could say, okay, this guy's funny, so therefore I'll like his stand-up. But none of my other credits are, and obviously I swear a lot, and I do very grown-up material, so if you're looking for what you saw on Lab Rats, you're barking up the wrong tree. But none of the other stuff that I did necessarily as a credit would go, oh, I want to go see this guy do stand-up. It stood alone on its own. The same thing with my music or anything else. There's nothing that sort of overlapped. I'm just good at what I do in each particular pocket, okay? And in this particular instance, like, the same thing is true of the live stream. It doesn't fucking matter that I did other stuff. The show should stand on its own. But this motherfucker, Glenn Beck, has been riding off of the fact that he was on CNN for a while and broadcast his fucking colonoscopy live on the air and worked for Fox and then got fired, just like Tucker. And then they just, because it's available... thank you, VJ Kodak. Let's connect. I would love to. Well, excellent. I think we can get there. I think with a man with a name like Kodak in his mark probably knows a thing or two about a thing or two. So that's lovely. That said, none of my stuff overlaps. Glenn Beck and Tucker Carlson have been in the same fucking business, doing the same fucking thing this whole time. And the idea that they eventually built a subscription model off of the free work that everybody else has done to create these outlets is... it's a bunch of commie bullshit. That's all I'm saying. I work for a fucking living. And these guys like, boo fuckity who. If I didn't have... I used to pay for Ustream. I used to have to pay for livestream.com when that was on. You had to buy your way onto those sites. And once your stuff was up, it disappeared after a while. It was like Snapchat. It only lasted like a month. And then it would go away. Now, you could have your fucking entire history available on YouTube continually. People could watch your videos over and over and over and over again, right? And this asshole is living off that model and then bitching at them that they want to have some say in what the content should be. Piss off. Kate says, Hal, your channel has restored my faith in the American people and democracy. Can't thank you enough. Oh, Slava Ukraine. Thank you, Kate. I try. And again, I will be here cheering you guys up for as long as I possibly can until it is no longer necessary and I can go back to just being an entertainer in the old-fashioned sense. But until then, I'm more than happy to be here kicking ass and taking names and showing these motherfuckers how it's done on a goddamn shoestring. I made these moving graphics myself. I didn't buy them from a fucking package, Mr. fucking Flashpoint, you assholes. I made all the... I mean, the Venmo thing doesn't look that great. I'm sorry. I have a better looking version of it, but it fell out. It didn't work, and then when I reloaded the image, it just went out. You don't need to hear this. Oh, the Ustream times we had. That's right, man. That was a while ago. That's absolutely right, CSL. Way back in the day. On a G-string budget. That's my OnlyFans. So, see this shit right here? This is fucking... I hung this fucking green screen in my office. That's what's here, okay? See the other lights? These are the lights I'm talking about. All right. God damn it. And this motherfucker wants to bitch that he doesn't have 19 fucking screens. The wall... All right, hold on. Let's see if I can find some I don't mind. I'm not going to do it with a guitar because it might hurt something. Hold on. Here, something I have a lot of sitting around. Camera stands. Lighting stands from Sexy Liberal when I fucking shot all these things. Okay, so this is a camera stand. It is only extended this far. Okay, this is as far as it is. This is the whole thing. You can fit it on screen. Okay, that's the wall. That's the... Oh, gosh, and my light fell over. That's funny. That's hilarious. That's the wall right there. This is the green screen. The other wall is right behind that. Don't give me any shit about it's hard and it's expensive and it's difficult and boo fuckity hoo. Put your show on the web, stand by it, or fuck right off. Now I gotta go fix my ring light, which just fell over because it's gonna knock other stuff over. It's always something. It's always something. Excuse me, YouTube? Yeah. I have a couple of issues, if I might. Yeah, thanks. That's it. I'm gonna go buy a drone. I'm just pissed. Do my show in a fucking yard. Thank you guys, by the way, for subscribing. Thanks for following. Thanks for giving me your eyeballs. It's the greatest gift you can give anybody, and I appreciate it. For those that support the show, love you guys. We couldn't do it without you. But if you can't at all, thank you for just being here and trusting me with your time. It's the most valuable thing you have in the world, and I really mean it. Fuck, I love you guys.